Hello, this is Ray with Stone, and I wanted to share with you guys today how to sharpen a knife or knives or other things on belt sanders. Today we're just going to be doing knives. Belt sanders are excellent tools for sharpening. They do get misused quite a bit. What you see a lot is people rounding off tips or overheating the steel. So I'm going to show you my method for sharpening knives on a belt sander. There's a lot of different ways you could do it. There's a lot of methods out there. I'm just going to show you my way today. Things you'll need are a spray bottle of water and a sanding stick. You want to keep your belts clean in between each knife. Keeping the grit down and keeping the belt clean will help keep the knife from overheating or a buildup of material on the belt, which will end up eventually overheating the steel. So you're going to need a clean stick and a bottle of water, and of course you're going to need a belt sander. Today I'm going to be using the Harbor Freight 1x30. I've had mine for about 5.5 years now, and it's a really good sander. I mostly prefer to sharpen on whetstones, but when I'm really busy or I do butcher knives or meat packing knives, I do them on the sander. It just helps me out quite a bit. So let's get into that now. Okay, so we have our belt sander here. I'll just show you how to load this real quick. So inside, for people that are new to this, you have your system of pulleys here. What we're going to do is we're going to use this little knob right here. And what this does is that moves this pulley forward and gives us just enough slack to put our belts on. So I like to start it off on these two. Push this forward. And be careful your hand doesn't actually hit the switch while you're doing this, so you don't turn it on yourself. Alright, just like that, really easy, and then we let go of that and you can adjust the slack. Alright, I think I'm good there. What we're going to do now is just put the cover back on. You can put a shop vac dust filter or anything you want over this. This is just a little dust port here, or a vacuum, whatever you like. Now, people often use these in this orientation here, standing straight up with an angle guide or without one. I prefer to lay it down like this, just on its back there. I prefer this orientation more. It makes it much easier for me to see what I'm doing. It makes it much easier for me to see the burr and the edge. The belt that I'm going to be using today is a 600 grit belt. 220 is a bit too aggressive, especially with how fast this thing is. 400 is what I do for butcher knives or meat packing knives. It gives them a nice slicing edge, but still kind of keeps them toothy, which is great for breaking down meat. This is a 600 grit belt. Even this is a bit much, but I'm going to start on here with a dull knife. 800 is good. It'll sharpen even the dullest knives. So the knife we're going to be using today is going to be one of our class knives. This is just a cheap KitchenAid knife. We use this for teaching sharpening lessons and other things like that. Again, 600 grit belt is perfect even for a dull knife, so we're going to start on that. Again, I like my knife in this orientation because I like to freehand my knives. I've gotten pretty good at finding angles. If you're not comfortable, buy an angle guide and use it in the standing orientation, but again, I prefer it like this. Yep, so then let's get started. What we're going to do first is we're going to just spray our knife down with our spray bottle. I like to get a little bit of water on it. It doesn't need to be soaking wet. Just about that much there is good. You're just going to go till you form a burr on each side. It doesn't take very long. The water will help keep the steel a little bit cool. What we're going to do is we're going to take 10-second rests in between each pass. So we're going to do one pass, rest, one pass, flip it over, do another pass, and then we're going to rest 10 seconds in between each side. That way we keep the steel nice and cool and it doesn't overheat it. The other important thing too is to make sure you're following the shape of the blade. Don't make a dramatic curve, just curve with the blade and let it flow naturally, right? So you can see how it starts to curve up here. You're going to follow that curve. Taking too long on it, we're not going too slow. Good moderate speed. Rest 10 seconds, don't let the knife overheat, that's the most important thing. Once again, just like when we're sharpening on stones, we're going to slightly lift the tip up just so we're getting the tip. Go ahead and shut that off now, and let me start over here. All right, let's swipe this down, and see, that's already a really sharp edge. That's already a really nice edge. It's a little wet, so it's sticking to the paper. That's okay. But see, just at 600, we have a really beautiful edge from a super dull knife. This would be good for just about anything. This is perfect right here for restaurants. This is where I would stop for a restaurant. Just that one belt is enough to get you through service, especially when you're going to be beating the crap out of this thing. So let me show you a different angle real quick so you can see what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to remove this now. We're going to put our stropping belt in here. Just like that. Put the cover back on. You can change it while it is in the sideways orientation. It's quite easy. Just want to make sure my cover's on. There we go. Okay, now this is just a stropping belt with a compound. Now we're just going to... This one won't overheat the knife too much. You can do a few more passes on this without it overheating. Generally about 5 times is good. We're going to strop at the same angle that we sharpened at. And your burr is going to kind of flip-flop until it completely is removed. Okay, I'm going to give this a rest for a second. And I'll do one more pass. Okay. Wait for it to stop spinning, and then we can shove that off to the side. And let's see how we did. There you go. If you need to find the angle of your knife or you're having difficulty, find your angle, you're not too confident, again, angle guides are your best friend. Get one, use it. Another thing you can do too is color in the edge with a Sharpie, or I really like these Milwaukee Marksall. These work really well. When you color the knife in, it should be about that thick. Don't worry, this even Sharpie won't ruin the knife at all. You could do this on expensive knives, you could do this on cheap knives. It doesn't matter. It comes off with alcohol. Just spray it with alcohol and you can wipe it off. Not a big deal. But yeah, you can do this with your expensive and cheap knives. It should be about that thick. This will tell you if you're too high or too low. But again, the best thing you could do is get an angle guide. Yep. Belt sanders are really good tools to sharpen on. All you need is a 1x30. I personally like Super Strop. Their belts are really good. They last me quite some time. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments or leave any questions that you have. And yeah, if you want to see more things in the future, like how to break in a wheel or how to break in a leather belt or a cork belt, then just leave the comments down below. Let us know how we're doing, and then yep, if you have any questions, again, leave them in the comments and we're more than happy to answer them. That's a really nice edge. That's a really sharp edge.